Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. I hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video right here on the crypto markets. We're going to do a full update. The US session so far, which has already been going on for 2.5 hours, so I'm relatively late. My apologies. But the US session has been volatile, to say the least. So we'll talk about that, obviously. We'll talk about what Bitcoin is doing. We'll talk about what altcoins are doing in general. We will briefly go over XRP and Ethereum. But first of all, I wanted to start off with some fundamentals right now. Like I said, there has been a lot of volatility and high volume in the markets. As you can see right here, I mean, we had a great morning and then a very bad US session so far, with quite a lot of volume coming in as well. Although the volume has decreased with this drop, right? So the intensity of the selling pressure has decreased. We left a lot of imbalances to the upside, so I think we'll be fine. And on the higher time frames, I think we're going to be fine as well. But if you look at the fundamentals around the markets, the fundamentals are actually pretty good. You can see the S&P 500 is not really doing much. We've had a bit of a bearish day, but ultimately not much going on. There's also no major news, as far as I know at this point of time, at least, that's really supporting the move that we have right now. The volatility index is relatively low, so there's no major unrest. Gold is trading. Gold is obviously still bullish, but today it actually dropped down, which is another sign that unrest is fine. We do see that risky assets had a bit of a bearish day today, so that's probably also one of the reasons why we've had a bit of a sell-off in crypto. But this is also still in an uptrend, all right, and that's kind of the key here that I wanted to focus on for this video. Is that we got a massive Bitcoin sale right here on no, I'm actually not sure if I can trust this data, but okay. So I mean, yes, we've had some major selling pressure, but ultimately we had a massive resistance as well. And what I told you this morning on Bitcoin as well is that we were heading for the 90-day rolling VWAP with a bearish divergence that we created there and low volume again. So I told you this morning when we were looking at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is still very relevant for altcoins as well. I told you I think it's likely we're going to drop down lower. Now, did I expect that we would drop down this low? No, but does it matter that much? I mean, on the 30-minute time frame, you would say, oh, this is very bearish. And I understand it's not great, all right, because we also dropped down below the 7-day rolling VWAP, so it's not great. However, we still have major support right here at 110,000. We still have a fair value gap right here at 110,400. It looks quite likely after this bearish pressure that we've seen that we're going to drop down into that, right? So I do think the probability of that is more likely at this point of time. Doesn't necessarily mean that it needs to happen, but let's say I do predict that. So something like this. But ultimately, we're still doing a great job at finding a bottom right here. We have seen some signs of great momentum over the course of the last 2 days. I mean, this morning as well. This morning was great, right? But things can turn around quickly. So I still think we're forming a bottom here, and I still think we're going up to the 30-day rolling VWAP right here, and the previous month point of control. So that's the area between 114,000 and 115,000. And this drop really doesn't change that. I mean, you can see we had very high volume initially, then the volume started to drop down. Then the volume with this last move was quite high as well. But like I said, we still have strong support to the downside that we can fall down into. We still have a bit of a buffer, and the fundamentals don't look that bad. And then when we're talking about Ethereum and XRP, which I know a lot of you are interested in, XRP is absolutely looking great. XRP hasn't even dropped down into the first imbalance we have, which is crazy. So XRP is incredibly strong. Ethereum, a little bit less so, but it's still holding support. So that's doing fine as well. That's being relatively stable. And even altcoins in general, I think actually still do have a chance to create a real breakout. I mean, this morning when altcoins were very bullish, you can see we broke above the value area high right here. I would say as long as altcoins stay above $304 billion, so then I'm talking about the others index, I think we actually have a chance to rally higher here, which I know sounds crazy, but purely technically we have that chance. But we do need to get a strong reaction there. For now, I think it's a little bit more likely that altcoins are going to pull back lower into that fair value gap at $304 billion. Get a good reaction there, and we can rally higher. Get a weak reaction there, and we're most likely going to drop back down into the range, which would be pretty painful. Just to make sure, I mean, if this is a fake out, which is still a possibility, then it's going to be quite painful. So be aware of that, right? I mean, you can already see coins like WorldCoin not doing too great. But when we're talking about altcoins, there's a couple of altcoins that I think are quite interesting. Obviously, we've seen a lot of momentum over the course of the last couple of days. When we're taking a look at so some of the coins I wanted to show you, if we look at Athena, look, Athena still broke out, and it looks like a retest is going to work out, and the fundamentals for Athena have also been great, so definitely a coin to watch for when we actually get that pullback. But also when you look at something like Arkham, has been incredibly strong. When we get a pullback, this looks like a good candidate to potentially buy. And last, but and by the way, we just got some bad news that I think one of the Trump brothers got removed from the board of directors of World Liberty Financial. So this is a little bit more bearish. Beware of that as well. All right. I would not buy World Liberty Financial right now or their LFI token. But okay, so that's what I think you need to know regarding Bitcoin, regarding altcoins in general, regarding XRP, Ethereum, the fundamentals, and the news. I'll be back with a new middle of the day market update tomorrow. So if you're interested in that, consider subscribing, but keep an eye on the channel for sure. Take care, all right, because it will still be volatile this early September. But as long as you're careful, there's money to be made. So those are my thoughts. Thank you for watching. Take care, everybody, and bye.